The topic taken today is organisms and its environment. It comes under the chapter organisms and populations. First of all, we have to know the definition of ecology. Ecology definition. Ecology deals with the study of interactions among organisms, between the organisms, and also between the organisms and their physical environment. So, ecology, according to this definition, deals with interactions among the organisms themselves, among the organisms of different species, and also interactions among the or between the organisms and various physical factors like temperature, heat, water, etc. Then, ecology is studied at 4 levels. Those 4 levels are organisms, populations, communities, and bio. What is an organism? Any individual is called as an organism. A plant, an animal, a bacterium, a fungus, anyone, any individual entity is known as a organism. Then, organisms, when they come together, or organisms of the same species, when they come to live together, they form a population. So, a population is a group of organisms of any one species occupying a definite area. You take, for example, population of deer in a forest, population of euglena in a pond of water, or a type of tree, a rose plants in a garden, like that. Population consists of a group of organisms belonging to the same species, and they must occupy the same area. Then, community. Community consists of assemblage of many types of populations. So, assemblage of organisms belonging to different species occupying the same habitat and interact among themselves. So, in the case of community, it not only includes various types of populations, but these populations interact among themselves. You take the forest. In the forest, we find a number of trees forming a community. Then a group of deer forming a community. A group of tigers that feed upon. A group of bacteria that decompose. Like that, all these organisms forming a community interact among themselves. Then, biome. Biome is a large-sized community or a vast area like a subcontinent. For example, India is a subcontinent. It is known as a biome. Like that, biome is a vast area occupied by various assemblage of species. Then, on the earth, we find that there are seasons. We come across 4 seasons on the earth. And these 4 seasons are clearly visible in temperate countries, not in tropical countries. In temperate countries, we come across 4 seasons. They are summer, then autumn, winter, and spring. Why these seasons are caused? The reason for the occurrence of seasons are 2. First cause is rotation of the earth around the sun. The earth, the planet earth, goes around the sun in an elliptical order. That is one reason. Second reason is tilt of the axis of the earth. I have drawn a figure here. This is the axis. But the earth is slightly tilted towards the right by 23.5 degrees. This is right tilting. Because of the tilt of the axis of the earth to the right side by 23.5 degrees, seasons occur on the earth. Then on that we find the equator at 0 degrees. Then on either side of the equator, at 23.4 degrees, there is on the towards the north, there is Tropic of Cancer, and towards the south, there is Tropic of Capricorn. This is called the North Pole, this is called South Pole. Near the North Pole, there is the Arctic Circle at 66.6 degrees. At the south, there is the Antarctic Circle at 66.6 degrees. In this way, on the Earth, imaginary lines are drawn for the sake of our convenience. These are only imaginary. Equator, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, like that. Only imaginary lines which help us to understand various activities occurring on the sun, on the Earth. If we move from the equator to the poles, what happens? At the equator, the day and night are almost equal. But if we move towards the poles, what happens? In one season, the day length gradually decreases. And in one season, the day length gradually increases. Similarly, the temperature also. If we move from the equator to the poles, the temperature gradually decreases. And also, if we move from plains to top of mountains, also the temperature gradually decreases. Then, there are a number of biomes on Earth. These biomes are deserts, rainforests, tundras, coniferous forests, etc. Then, these major biomes are caused due to seasonal and annual variations in precipitation. Precipitation means rainfall. So, the seasonal and annual variations in the rainfall is responsible for the formation of different biomes. A biome has regional and local variations. And these local and regional variations result in the formation of various habitats like tropical rainforests, deserts, deciduous forests, etc. You take India. I told you India is a large biome. In India we find tropical rainforests in Kerala. We find desert in Rajasthan. We find tundras. Now we don't find tundras, but we find deciduous forests in North India. Like that, the regional and local variations are responsible for the formation of various habitat within a biome. Then, one interesting thing is, even our intestine is a biome. In our large and small intestines, we find hundreds of species of microorganisms. Some of them are beneficial, some of them are harmful. In this way, even our intestine is a unique habitat. Then, ecosystem. Ecosystem means it is the interaction taking place between the community of organisms and their physical environment. So, ecosystem deals with the interactions between different community of organisms and their physical environment. What do you mean by physical environment? It is temperature, heat, water, light, etc. Then, ecosystem is broadly divided into two parts, structural component and functional component. Structure means how it is organized. Function means how it works. So, the ecosystem is divided into structural component and functional component. The structural component has two parts, biotic factors and abiotic factors. Biotic factors means living organisms. Abiotic factors means non-living things. Coming to biotic factors, these biotic factors are again three types: producers, consumers, and decomposers. Producers synthesize the food. All the green plants are producers. They produce the food for various organisms of that community. Consumers. All animals are consumers. because they depend on the plants either directly or indirectly for their needs of food. Decomposers. When animals die, their bodies are decomposed. So these decomposers decompose the dead bodies of plants and animals. They also decompose leaves, fruits that are falling from the trees. They also decompose the animal excreta, urine, etc. In this way, the biotic factors are three types: producers, consumers, and decomposers. The producers are again two types: photoautotrophic and chemoautotrophic. All the green plants are called photoautotrophic because by using the sunlight, they synthesize food. Chemoautotrophs, they do not depend on the sunlight. They use the chemical energy available in water and synthesize food. Some chemobacteria come under chemoautotrophs. Consumers, I have told you, all the animals are consumers. These are again three types: primary consumers, secondary consumers, and tertiary consumers. Primary consumers, they are herbivores. They feed on the grass and leaves. Secondary consumers, they feed upon the primary consumers or the herbivores. The secondary consumers are known as carnivores. Tertiary consumers feed upon either the primary consumers or secondary consumers. In this way, the consumers are three types. We'll be studying about all these things later on in detail. Then, decomposers, I have told you, they decompose the dead and decaying bodies. Then, abiotic factors, non-living factors. These are again two types: physical factors and chemical factors. The physical factors are light, temperature, water, soil, pressure, etc. Chemical factors are oxygen, carbon dioxide, minerals, various types of nutrients, etc. So in this way, there are various types of abiotic factors. Today we will be dealing with these physical factors. Then coming to the functional component, it has again two components: flow of energy, cycling of nutrients. Flow of energy means how the energy flows from the producers to the consumers and from consumers to the decomposers. The cycling of nutrients. See, the flow of energy is unidirectional. It never comes back. You know about the energy. It can neither be created nor destroyed. After use of the energy by the at various levels, it dissipates into the space. Whereas the nutrients, they are recycled. They are not lost. They are never lost to the ecosystem. They are used up by the plants, then they are passed on to the animals. When the animals undergo decay, the nutrients are released back into the soil. In this way, nutrients are recycled, whereas energy cannot be recycled. It flows in only one direction. Now let us see various physical factors. First one, temperature. What is temperature? It is nothing but the intensity of heat. So intensity of heat is known as temperature. On the land and then also in water, we find variations, seasonal variations in the temperature. In summer, the temperature goes up on land and also in water. In winter, the temperature comes down. Temperature has a great influence on the distribution of plants and animals on the earth. Then, I have told you, if you move away from the equator towards the poles, the temperature gradually decreases. Similarly, if you move to higher altitudes, that is from plains to the top of the hill, the temperature decreases. Then, in the deserts, the temperature is very high. It may even exceed more than 50 degrees centigrade. Then, if you go to the polar regions, North Pole or South Pole, it is freezing. The temperature is sub-zero, that means below zero. So in this way, On the earth, temperature varies. Then, the temperature has a limiting effect on the distribution of plants and animals. All animals and plants cannot survive in all types of temperatures. For example, take the mango tree. India is famous for mangoes. India produces the largest number of mangoes on earth. But mango trees cannot be grown in Canada or England or Europe. Why? It needs high temperature. Whereas in the temperate countries like England, the temperature is so low, the mango trees cannot survive and they cannot flower. Similarly, snow leopards. Snow leopards are found in the polar regions and also in the temperate regions, and they are not found in India, which is a tropical country. Similarly, tuna fish. Tuna fish are rarely found beyond tropical sea waters. In this way, temperature has effect on the distribution of plants and animals. Then, temperature also influences the enzymatic activity. Sorry. Life is nothing but the activity of enzymes. Without enzymes, you can't survive. Enzymes work with highest efficiency at a particular temperature. That is known as optimum temperature. At the optimum temperature, the enzymes work with highest efficiency. Take our body. In our body, at 37 degrees centigrade or 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, the enzymes work with the highest efficiency. If the temperature falls or increases beyond this level, what happens? The enzymatic activity decreases and it causes fever and other problems. So, the enzymes are highly efficient only at a particular level or at optimum level. Here we have to remember one rule, Van Hoff's rule. This gives Q10 values. Van Hoff made a discovery. And here we have to remember one more point before I proceed with the Van Hoff's rule. Animals are classified into two types, stenotherms and poikilotherms. Stenotherms maintain a constant body temperature irrespective of the surrounding temperature. Birds and mammals are the stenothermal animals. They maintain a constant body temperature. That's why they are also known as warm-blooded animals. To maintain this body temperature, heat is generated inside the body. So, they are also known as endotherms. Then, unithermal animals. Majority of the animals, or 99% of the species, animal species, are poikilotherms. That means they cannot maintain a steady body temperature. Their body temperature varies according to the external temperature. So, they are also known as cold-blooded animals or exotherms. Exotherms means the heat required for maintaining their body comes from outside. So, in this way, animals are divided into stenotherms and ectotherms. Stenotherms and eurytherms. Ectotherms, not eurytherms, ectotherms. So in this way, animals are divided into stenotherms and ectotherms. So Van Hoff's rule applies only to ectotherms, not eurytherms. Eurytherms maintain stenotherms maintain a constant body temperature. So Van Hoff's rule applies only to ectotherms. And Van Hoff's rule applies only in a particular range, and that range is known as biokinetic range. This is from 15 degrees centigrade to 45 degrees centigrade. So in the case of ectotherms, if the body temperature increases by 10 degrees centigrade, the metabolic activity doubles. If the body temperature decreases by 10 degrees, the metabolic activity is half. It becomes half. So in this way, Q10 values indicate that in the case of poikilotherms or ectotherms, if the temperature goes up by 10 degrees, if the body temperature goes up by 10 degrees, the metabolic activity doubles. At the same time, if the metabolic activity is halved, if the temperature is reduced by 10 degrees centigrade. Then, coming to next one, water. Water is the second most important ecological factor after the temperature. Life has appeared in water. So, without water, no life can exist on the earth. Our bodies contain, or the animal bodies contain, 80 to 90% water only. Then, animals and plants are found in different regions on the earth. Some are found in the deserts. And organisms living in deserts have special adaptations for their survival. They have various methods to conserve the body water. Then, in the case of desert animals, many adaptations are seen in conserving body temperature. There is one rat known as kangaroo rat, Dipodomys. It lives in deserts of North America. It never drinks water. It mostly depends on the metabolic water and also water obtained from the food. It also produces highly concentrated urine. It has the longest loop of Henle. So, by minimizing water loss, this desert rat can survive without any problem in deserts. We'll see more about these adaptations in the next topic. Then, pH and salinity of water has impact on the distribution of plants and animals. pH means hydrogen ion concentration. Water may be acidic, alkaline, or neutral. Then, salinity, the concentration of salt in water. See, if you take the seawater, the salt concentration is 3 to 3.5%. In fresh water, it is 0.05%. In estuaries means the places where the rivers flow into the ocean. Because of the mixing of the fresh water with the seawater, the salinity varies from 0.05 to 3%. In this way, we come across three types of water: seawater, freshwater, estuarine waters. In these three types of water, we find organisms living, and they have solved the osmotic problems very efficiently. We'll be studying about these adaptations in the next topic. Then, animals living in the water or seawater have or are classified into euryhaline animals and stenohaline animals. Stenohaline animals cannot tolerate variations in salt concentration. If the salt concentration increases or decreases, they die. So only within a narrow range of salt concentration, they can survive. Euryhaline animals can tolerate in fluctuating salinity, water having salinity. That means euryhaline animals can survive in estuaries where the salinity varies according to seasons, whereas the stenohaline animals can survive only when the salt concentration steady, that is seawater or fresh water. Then freshwater fishes face the problem of endosmosis. Fresh water will be flowing into the body through endosmosis, and this water has to be expelled. That's why the freshwater fishes have a kidney having a large number of glomeruli, or you can say highly glomerular kidney. So in freshwater fishes, there is a highly glomerular kidney that excretes large amounts of water. Along this excreted water, salts also go out. So to maintain salt concentration, the freshwater fishes have salt absorbing glands on their gills. So through these salt absorbing glands, they compensate the loss of salts through urine. The opposite thing happens in the case of fishes living in seawater. In the case of seawater, what happens? Body loses water through exosmosis. So to compensate this loss of water, sea fishes, what they do? They drink seawater. If they drink seawater, they get water, but in addition to water, they also imbibe or they take salts, which are not required by the fish. So the marine fishes have aglomerular kidney to minimize loss of water through urine. Because already they are losing water through exosmosis, through their body surface. So to minimize water loss, they have aglomerular kidney. And by drinking water, they gain a lot of salts. And these salts are excreted through salt excreting glands present on their gills. In this way, the freshwater fishes and marine fishes overcome osmotic problems. Then, elasmobranch fishes or cartilage fishes. They have solved the osmotic problem in a very interesting way. They store urea in their blood, and thus they raise the blood concentration to that of the seawater concentration. As a result, water is not lost through exosmosis. So by this ingenious method, the elasmobranchs or cartilage fishes have solved their osmotic problem. Then seagulls and penguins. They live in or they mostly live in seawater, and they drink seawater, and they also eat fishes found in the seawater. So through food and water, the seagulls and penguins take in lot of salts. These salts are excreted through salt excreting glands present in their nostrils. So the seagulls and penguins get rid of excessive salts through salt excreting glands present in their nostrils. Then turtles and crocodiles, they too have salt excreting glands, but these are located near their eyes. So when they open their mouth, the salt concentrated water comes out. We heard about crocodile tears. Crocodile tears are nothing but the secretions of salt excreting glands present near their eyes. We confuse them as their tears, but it is not so. Coming to light. Sun is the main source of light for all the plants and animals living on the earth. Of course, there is a minor light coming from the stars, but the main source of light is solar light. Plants synthesize food through photosynthesis by using the solar energy. We have studied that topic in detail. Animals are also influenced by light. Based upon the influence of the light, animals are divided into three types: diurnal animals, nocturnal animals, and crepuscular animals. Diurnal animals means day animals. They move about during the daytime. Nocturnal animals, they move about in search of food only during the night time. Owls, bats, they are nocturnal animals. Then crepuscular animals. There are some animals like rabbits. They come out in search of food just before the sunrise and just after the sunset. Such animals are known as crepuscular animals. Then photoperiod. Photoperiod means the duration of availability of light on earth. In summer, the days are very long. In winter, the days are short. If you move towards the poles, what happens? We find very long days in summer and very short days in the winter. The photoperiod acts as a cue or as a signal for foraging, reproduction, and migration. Some plants and animals breed with the increasing day length. Some plants and animals breed with decreasing day length. Then, bird migration is a fascinating example. During winter, what happens? Birds from colder regions migrate to warmer regions. Every year, a number of birds from Siberia, Russia, and other cold countries come to India, breed here. Then, with approaching summer, they again go back to their winter grounds. In this way, light acts as a cue for the migration of the birds, feeding of the birds, and also for reproduction of organisms. Then, sun is not only the source of light but also a source of temperature. In the sunlight, we come across two types of radiation: visible radiation and invisible radiation. In the visible radiation, we find the 7 colors, VGR. These 7 colors cannot penetrate to all depths of water. Different colors penetrate to different depths in water. Then coming to the invisible light. In the invisible light, we find X-rays, gamma rays, UV rays, infrared rays, radio waves, like that. Among them, UV radiation is very dangerous. UV radiation means ultraviolet radiation. These short wavelength rays cause mutations. They bring about changes in DNA and cause mutations in living organisms. Then, some animals are also famous for producing light. This is known as bioluminescence or cold light. Various groups of organisms or animals produce bioluminescence. Bioluminescence does not generate any heat, so it is known as cold light. In this case, what happens is there is one enzyme known as luciferase. Luciferase, in the presence of oxygen, converts luciferin into oxyluciferin. As a result, light is generated, and these organisms utilize that light for various activities. The cold light is produced famously by jellyfishes, squids, fireflies, glowworms, squids, pyrosoma, etc. That is about the light. Then coming to the soil. Pedology deals with the studies of soil. It deals with the formation, nature, ecology, and classification of soils. We find different types of soils on earth, having different types of chemical composition. And how the soil is formed? Soil is formed due to climatic activities like weathering, pH, etc. Mainly the wind and rains cause weathering effect. As a result, the rocks are dissolved and minerals are released into the soil. Then, if you come to take up the water, at the bottom of the water, bottom of a lake or a sea, what you find? We find sediment. So at the bottom of water sources, there is sediment, and that sediment is also a rich source of food for various types of organisms. The organisms living in the sediment are known as benthic animals. Usually, decomposers like bacteria are found in the sediment of oceans and lakes. So, These are some of the points, or some of the important points with this topic, organisms and their environment. Okay, thank you.